Okay, everybody, it is still me, Gregory Mannarino. What a freaking day. May 31st, 2022. Okay, how did we end the month? Well, higher. Gains for the Dow Jones Industrial Average and gains for the S&P 500. So much for sell in May and go away. And in my view, it's not done. Despite the fact, and I know everyone's writing to me about it, that quantitative tightening is supposed to begin tomorrow. We will talk about quantitative tightening in just a little bit. So let's cover this freaking market all over the place. Negative, deeply negative, positive, deeply negative, positive, bouncing around like a freaking yo-yo today. We did finish lower. Let's talk about that. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down about 0.6%. The same thing for the S&P 500, and a close third here is the NASDAQ. So nothing major here. The 10-year yield, rock solid at 2.86. The dollar did put on a slight gain today, but gold and silver got friggin' destroyed. Gold took a hit. Silver got slammed pretty freaking good here. And you got a cryptocurrency doing well. Bitcoin higher, going up at about 32,000. So that's really the market here. Crude oil higher yet again. We all know this. It's going much, much higher. Just get ready for that. People are, you and me, my lions out here who got in on oil and gas companies. I'm talking about ExxonMobil, ticker XOM, ticker CVX, ticker DVN. It's almost embarrassing the amount of money that we've made off of these positions here. And a lot of people are writing to me today, Greg, what do we do? Do we pull profits here? No, the number one rule of investing, forget about trading or, being a long-term holder of anything, is really the truth, is it's never, ever, ever wrong to pull profit. Even for me, just real quick, you know how many times I've been involved in the ownership of an asset, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a really nice, beautiful profit, and I fail to pull it, and then you know what happens? It turns into a loss, and then I want to smack myself across the face. I've actually done that on several occasions. I called myself several names in the mirror too. So with that said, it's never wrong. Never, never wrong. Ask any of my lions out here, okay? Some of these guys have been trading longer than me, and they're going to tell you the same story. It's never wrong ever to pull profit. Now, with that said, what is Greg Mannarino doing? What I did a while back, and I've explained this, I pulled nice profits out of ExxonMobil, nice profits out of CVX, and I threw it all into DVN. Why did I do that? Not because I really believed that DVN was, the end all here. I just had, right now I have a lot of positions open, and I'm actually thinking about consolidating further. So what I did was I just consolidated my oil and gas companies. And right now the only one I hold is ticker DVN. All of this is available for you for free right on my website, traderschoice.net. If you want to see my most recent stock picks, just click on the link, scroll all the way down, just past the chat room, which I hope you're utilizing. It's a great resource, a lot of smart people, and you're going to see my positions there. You understand? I hope you do. So with regard to oil and gas companies, as I said, I have no intention to sell DVN. I believe there's more upside here. Am I going to be smacking myself across the face and calling myself foul names in the mirror? You just never freaking know. Maybe I should get that on video. Anyway, so with that said, let us move forward here. So this is what we found out. In this month here, home prices have surged another 20%. They continue to surge out of control, but inflation is peaking. That's what the Congressional Retard Office said, budget office. And we've been hearing the same narrative from politicians, retard, brain dead, zombified, Frankenstein presidents. I'm referring to Bidenstein here as well. Fed chair. Oh, the Federal Reserve. They would never lie to you. No, no, no. Public enemy number one. You think they're going to lie to you? No. Inflation continues to surge out of control. And here's the other thing. People who can't afford homes are now getting stuck in rent bidding wars. Some landlord wants to rent his house, his apartment, whatever it might be. And, oh no, you can't rent it for the price that's being offered. There's multiple offers coming in here. And this is all part of this scheme to destroy the middle class, wipe them out. You know that better than anybody else. This is a grand elimination on a biblical scale, honestly. And we're going to see how real this is going to get when the debt market implodes. I think you're all well aware of all this. There's a lot of other stuff going on today, too. You know what? What I want to do here is I want to talk about quantitative tightening. What is quantitative tightening? Let's talk about that. Quantitative tightening is the opposite of quantitative easing. So this is a lie that is being sold to, I guess, everyone right now, is the Federal Reserve is going to be dramatically reducing the size of its balance sheet. Number one, this can't happen. Okay. Number two, how do I put this? The Federal Reserve will be doing this so slowly, if they even can, and so incrementally that it really will not make any difference. I don't know how many of you out here believe that the Federal Reserve is going to reduce their balance sheet to any kind of meaningful level, like pre-crisis. How about no? As a matter of fact, you could count on the fact that the Federal Reserve's balance sheet will remain larger. Sit down for this one. Are you ready? Take a deep breath. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet will remain larger than the gross domestic product of most nations on freaking planet Earth. That should tell you something. All right. Now, with regard to the debt that the Federal Reserve is currently holding, I'm referring to treasuries, they can't get rid of them. It's an impossibility to do, because if no one in the world, and I've said this before, and a million times I'll say it again, no one in the world is going to buy debt off of the Fed that is yielding less than you could buy on the open market. Right now, does that make any sense to you? So what I'm trying to say is the Federal Reserve, whatever debt that they are currently holding with a coupon, because that's what it's called, a coupon, which tells you the amount that it's going to be yielding over time, is going to be less than you could buy on the open market. So, my heart's pounding. Is Greg Mannarino having a heart attack online? Maybe he is. Okay, you all get to see me die. Lovely. Anyway, look, all of you are way too smart to fall for the bullshit, the dog shit. We're going to actually be able to see what the Fed does. And I already explained to you. The Federal Reserve, even if they engage, are you ready for this one, in some kind of mystical quantitative tightening, the opposite of quantitative easing, what do they have? They have the mechanism of crisis to crisis to crisis, for which billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, and even trillions of dollars are going to continually be thrown at them. Again, you already know. Look this up for yourself. COVID, there's already another $1 trillion slated to be spent on fighting COVID. I don't know what they're going to do to fight monkeypox. Okay, I don't think it's going to make any difference until it gets on some of our Congress people's genitalia. Okay, but look, it's all fake anyway. I think you all know that. And but you might see some of our, might be scratching on their genitalia here. Some of our lovely, illustrious Congress people, and monkeypox or herpes, or I don't know, one of those two, whatever. I think they all have some type of herpes encephalitis. Actually, no, they're just all slaves to the freaking central banks. Where do I come up with these fancy terms? Yes, I did practice medicine for 20 freaking years. I know what herpes encephalitis is. Anyway, am I out of my mind? Really? Maybe just a little bit? Okay. So going back to quantitative tightening and the Federal Reserve with their crisis to crisis to crisis, this mechanism that is being put forth here with the war and, billions of dollars, which you must support. You cannot say no. You're a free person, aren't you? You have a voice. How about no? This is a slave system, And you will all know that you cannot stand against it, because that's how they sell it to you. If you don't support this, you are not a patriot. If you don't support this, you are not the war, monkeypox, or COVID, or anything associated along those lines. You must support it. Otherwise, you don't care about people. You don't care about babies who can't get baby food. With the baby food crisis and the energy shortage and the this and the that. I mean, it just doesn't stop. How do people stay sane in this environment? Well, you tell me. Greg Mannarino, I believe, I love talking about myself in the third person, I really do. Greg Mannarino is not sane, and I think it's pretty obvious. What do you think, people? Huh? Who else would come out here and make sounds and faces like I do? Okay, you want to see another one? Who would, and put things on their eyeballs like that? Who else would do this? Unless they were not completely out of their freaking... this is insanity. And yes, it bleeds off to Greg Mannarino. All right, look, I think I covered this all for you. You know what's going on. Seems pretty straightforward to me, okay? We had a fractional sell-off across the board in the market. 10-year yield stable, rock solid. We'll see what happens with this. Capital inflows substantial in this market. And tells me that more gains are coming. We need financials to play. Energy is certainly going to play, with crude oil getting bid higher. Tech, which is so unbelievably oversold, it's just completely out of control. But look, you know what's going on. Did any of the economic news surprise you today, that we find out that home prices surged 20% higher in March? It's out of control. And now that there are bidding wars, along with everything else that they throw at us, you really don't believe for a nanosecond that any of this is by accident right now. They're doing everything they can to make your life difficult, and you're being eliminated if you're a member of the middle class. How many years ago? I don't even know how many years ago I have said, if you're a member of the middle class, you have a tattoo on your face in the shape of a target. And I don't see any revolts. I don't see anybody in the street. No. It's all about this distraction, that deception, and look here, don't look here. All right, what else is there to say? Look, this guy here loves you a lot. I really, really mean that. Please share this video. Get it out there. Let people hear this stuff. Okay? It's super important, I think, and I hope you agree. All right, I'll see all of you in the morning. That's it.